Hello guys, Tommy D6 Education, Compliance Department, and today we're going to have a look again how to make your life easier and play a role in terms of easy schooling and effective schools at the end of the day. You will remember that part of the process in SASAMS is to basically validate your data, and before you fix all your errors, then only can you deploy. Now, if you remember carefully, you'll remember the functions 16.19 for error and omissions, as well as function 17 that eventually deploys your database. Now, I'm picking up from this point, and the exciting thing is that we have introduced the logic onto our system going forward, more proactively, making this easier process and faster for the school, so that we all can comply and submit easily every day. Right, very important on the system, if you go to My Home Tasks and you scroll down a bit, find the light blue icon and you'll see that this is where the compliant tasks, a new section, is now situated. Very important, remember that based on what you've set up and what you've done on the system already, your picture might look different than the next guy or the next school, but I'm just going to just touch on some of the information in front of me. The first one I'm looking at reads as follows. You have 22 learners without invalid ID numbers. Very important that we do address the ID numbers for all the learners in the school. It's part of funding and the department requires that. Some tips here, the parent must supply the information. That's maybe the first thing. Other important info include that if an ID number for a learner does not validate, no matter what you do, and even if you've checked all the relevant paperwork, okay, then my advice would be report that to the department as well as to Home Affairs, because they need to assist us in getting all of these issues sorted. One of the next tasks, remember, is, for example, 5 parents with invalid ID numbers. Important for us to make sure that South African ID numbers are sorted for both parents, so as well as immigrants and South Africans themselves. I will focus on telling you exactly where the functions are, where applicable. So the next task says there are 3 staff members without subjects assigned. Very important on the system to have a look under My School Staff Subjects, and you'll find 2 tabs there. The first tab will allow you to assign the subject that the educator teaches, and the second tab contains all the information related to the experience, the training, everything we require. Very important that we actually do this because it's part of the bigger check, and especially per term when we submit this online. Another example would be of the task on the system would be you have 17 staff members, absent reasons linked to the SASAM's unknown leave reason. Somewhat touching on the next task as well, 5 learner absent reasons linked to the SASAM's no valid reason. Very important that on the system under My School General Absentees, these must be set up. We have to tell the SASAM's export what reasons to correctly use for those that already exist in the school, and these functions allow us to link these to each other. It's very important when we export the data that these reasons for leave and for absenteeism are linked and actually exporting correctly. Right, now next example, you have not completed the DBE representative information. Now guys, very important under My School General School Setup, we have to tell the system who the school appointed EMIS officer is, as well as the details for the DBE representative. Very important in terms of contact information, and we do make sure that that is completed. One of the other tasks that I'm looking at, you have 3 learners without study permits. Of course, this is quite a technical issue currently. There's FD penalties involved, and we're just making sure we manage your risk. So very important, a learner in a school must effectively have study permits in order to study in that school. It doesn't matter if the parent has permanent or temporary residence, it still applies. And we of course have to make sure that these permits are still valid. Of course, until captured on the system, then only will these tasks be addressed and will disappear. Another example would be the common tasks for 66 subjects have not been identified. We know that the department is looking at common tasks, departmental tests and exams. And of course, it's important that we monitor that every term, okay, has the necessary tasks per subject and common tasks for that matter. Now, remember that under my school curriculum tasks, okay, you can have a look and you will find that there we need to set up the necessary tasks, especially the icon I think reads allows and tasks. Now, if you've selected the yes there, then you'll see that this will disappear as part of your setup. Final one that I have, you have 4 educators with our training institutions. You can understand that that's quite important. And under my school staff, you'll find that on the staff record, way down just before the user rights, you'll find the big third block that you have to complete this information. At the end of the day, the department must have a record where the educator studied, and that's where this is captured. Until then, that's of course what we need to get this settled. Right, thank you very much. We hope this is helping. It's part of our drive to be more proactive, smarter and faster. Thanks for being part of our team. Bye-bye. Hi, Tom.
I think